Hello and welcome to my very first Photoshop how-to video. Today we're going to take a photograph that I got from photos.com. It's a royalty-free image, and we are going to turn it into an aged photo that might have been in Grandma's box for about 50 years. These come from photos.com and it is a royalty-free image. My texture image I've done beforehand. It is simply a scan of the inside of a paperback novel that I found to be really interesting. It has a lot of rips and tears and copy stains and water problems. So let's open those two. I'm going to take this picture and drag it over here. And we'll close this guy. And we're going to view this a little bit bigger so we can see what I'm doing here. Let's bring it to the middle. Okay. So what's the problem here? Isn't quite big enough, is it? So let's edit the image. We're going to go to transform tool and we're going to scale. We're going to grab that corner handle and bring it down a bit. Reposition this over our texture layer and enter. Now I'm going to take this texture layer and duplicate it because we're going to need that later for a little bit more oomph on our textures. And I'm going to toggle this view so we're not looking at it right now because we're not going to work with that yet. Now we're going to take this layer and we're going to right click on the room layer, create clipping mask. Now you see that we've lost that hard crisp edge and it has an old feel already just by the shape. Now, it doesn't really look old yet, so what do? Let's change the layer properties to vivid light. Click on this drop-down menu where it says normal. You scroll up here to vivid light. You can use hard light, soft light, whatever works for you and your picture that you've chosen. I happen to have a dark picture, so vivid light works well for me. And I'm going to try to bump down this opacity to about 85%. Yeah. There we go. It's looking good already, isn't it? So we have this texture copy, and I think what I'm going to do right now is add a little bit more texture. We're going to go on this guy here, and we're going to put him on hard light, nice and bright. I'm going to Control, Shift, and U. I'm going to desaturate that. We don't want the color, we just want the effects. We want the water and those wrinkles and cracks to show up just a little bit better. We're going to keep that selected and we're going to go up to Image Adjustments and we're going to hit Brightness Contrast. We're going to take the brightness down just a little bit because we really don't want, there we go. You see how the watermarks are really showing up now. Our contrast, bump that up just a tad. Oh, fantastic. Looks good. So I've got the brightness at -127 and the contrast at a +37. I'm going to click Enter. And there we've got it. Okay, so let's go down here. What we're missing. What are we missing? I think we're missing those white edges. You know what I'm talking about? The little white edges that go around the photograph. So why don't we, we're going to hold Control. And we're going to click that thumbnail for that texture so that it brings that selection, loads that selection up. And I'm going to go up here to Select, and I'm going to click Modify, and we're going to contract that border by about 18 pixels. I already have it set there, so I'm just going to press OK. Now what I need to do is inverse my selection. You know, sometimes I don't know the hotkeys, but it's Shift-Control-I to inverse. And there we go. And we're going to make a new layer above that texture. And you see that it's still a clipping mask. And I'm going to go over here to my paint bucket, and it's on white. And we have added, oh, now where did that come from? You know, I'm going to have to select this here and figure out what that little dot is. We're going to get rid of that. Control X to get rid of that artifact. I'm not really sure what happened. As you can see, what we have now is an old photograph with the edges. We've got a flipped up corner and shadow, and pretty much that's it in a nutshell. I'm going to save these. I'm going to save this for the web, and let's fit this on the screen. And let's see here. I'm going to save this high because I like it. I'm going to keep it. And we're going to save this in my speech folder as old photo speech. There we go. We are done. We have our new picture. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and remember that you can always pause the video if you get stuck on a step. I'm going to upload my file pictures so you guys can practice anytime you want to. I'm going to put them probably in the student lounge. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.